Now this video is a public service announcement. I want to speak to the empath men out there that are currently struggling. This video is going to be my greatest advice for you. Why? Because I've been you. I've been that hyper feminized version of me where I lacked structure, boundaries, and the ability to really move forward with confidence, or as I like to call it, Godfidence. We have a saying at Primal Sutra: go from doormat to doorway. Throughout your life, you might felt like you were bullied, you were stepped on, you were rejected, you were mistreated. You became a misfit. But then you started to create your own lane, your own narrative. Forget what other people are doing right now and come back to truth, come back to your mission. A lot of empaths love to complain, okay? I don't want this to be the narrative going around, because we're here to heal, okay? We were summoned here to heal. But if you don't work on your own healing, how are you going to start to heal others? Because the world becomes a projection of you. You're seeing the unenlightened parts of society because you're not working on your own enlightenment. So these are my biggest, I guess you could say, tips, suggestions, all my perspective, okay? Take it or leave it, take it with a grain of salt, be smart about this. Let's move forward. Number one is to work on cutting out bad habits and addictions. Anything that has power over you is making you more weaker, is making you more submissive. Think about it. You are submissive to this rush, to this dopamine, to this release. You are literally submissive to your addiction. Your addiction is the alpha, you're the beta to your addiction. You get what I mean? Like, I'm just speaking it into the modern context for people who can understand. Not that I'm trying to give it, specific labels, but let's say Chad inversion, right? We can call it anything we want, like, Prince and a Toad, a Beast and a Bitch. We can say whatever we want. But the main thing I would say is stop avoiding confrontations. Stop avoiding confrontations. Stop avoiding confrontations. Fear is one area of your life that you really want to get accustomed to. You don't want to keep going into that avoidant passive strategy. It served you many years ago when you were a young child, where you would just lock yourself in your own room and just forget about it, maybe play with toys or just, blast music. But that fear of rejection is manifesting into your business, into, your dating life and many other areas. Understand ultimately that you cannot be rejected. You can only be accepted for who you are. And I reframe confrontations as carefrontations. So you actually care enough about the situation to get it handled. So you move into that action energy. You start moving rather than staying stagnant and still. Let me tell you something, bro. A hovering, criticizing woman will kill your masculinity. And this comes from the time where your mother's nagging you and so forth. But even in your relationships, if you've ever had a relationship where she's hovering over you, doubting you, okay, insecure about this, you understand that the more defensive that she gets, the more closed her heart is. You get that? Maybe she has a bad past with relationships. Maybe things to do with power play, control, male dominance or aggression, maybe even physical violence that's threatening to a woman's life. This can kill a woman's feminine qualities. So as an empath woman, understand that sometimes you already have your feminine traits, your emotions, but on top of that, you're gonna have more intuition, more guidance. You can feel other people's energies, correct? So the key here is not to absorb, but to observe. I am tired. You are the I, you are not the tired. You get what I mean? So stop complaining, because again, you will feel these heavy shifts in energies as you're becoming more empathetic or tapping into your sensitivity. And guess what, man? A lot of this empath stuff, it comes from trauma. Think about that. The people pleaser side of you creates a bridge for this to happen. So you've got to balance your assertiveness with your kindness. And now is the perfect time to be feeling this, because Mars and Venus are trying to rebalance and find peace together. The divine masculine, divine feminine right now on the planet are basically colliding, and we need more of a bridge and integration. And that's what we're doing as well at Primal Sutra. We're helping people realize their own divinity, their own true power, their true strength, that they have the ability to rise above current circumstances, to transcend the 3D world into creating something of your own, a 5D masterpiece. If you're interested in learning more about how to do that, join our Primal Sutra Mystery School, where we teach you a process, the Primal Sutra protocol, in order to do this so that you can heal yourself and your family. I want you to be the medicine man or the medicine woman of your family and go and heal. And please, because the collective needs it, look at the suffering that is around you, okay? And I don't mean to paint that in a way where it's like, oh, he's being negative. No, just understand you can't press fast forward on this thing all the time. We have sped up the timeline countless times, okay? Multiple times to count. So don't compare yourself to us, because we're like, athletes with this. Spiritual athletes, we call ourselves. But you can't just DMT or acid or shrooms your way into enlightenment, bro. That's like putting on virtual reality goggles and actually thinking that you're having sex when you're not. Remember that Christ upturned tables for those who were defiling the temple. I think most people end up turning the other cheek and end up turning into a doormat rather than turning the other cheek with sovereignty, dignity, and honor. Leadership. You're lacking leadership. If you had more leadership, you would actually move all of these other empaths in your environment. Maybe they're coming towards you for guidance. That's the empath that has cracked the code in some way. They've been through the process. They understand what's going on behind the scenes, the puppet strings being pulled. This is how I'm gonna get there. Would you like to join me? That's directional. That's leadership. Men especially stop lacking in direction. The feminine needs direction. This creates safety for her nervous system so that she can fully surrender. You go through experiences with a lot of emotions because you've never really dealt with your emotional pain. You see, you might have years and years of emotional pain that you haven't processed yet, and it's manifesting through your physical present reality, right? You're seeing things like get worse, or you're scared, right, of the future, and that's anxiety. That's okay. You need to calm your nervous system down. You need to have a good relationship with your nervous system. Stop feeding yourself all these fatty foods and junk foods to try to feel good about yourself, because ultimately it's just harming you in the long term. As an empath, you need to be clean. I'd say sattvic diet with some meat in it, okay? I don't recommend that you go fully vegan, and again, that's your personal preference. If you want to go vegan, I have nothing against that. I think it's a great way, especially if you're much older and you're going down that route. Like, I think it's a great option for certain people to try out, but I don't think it's a long-term solution to anything, okay? Because our body is made up of protein, okay? Organs. Yes, plants also have protein in them, but we need a specific amount of protein to make it work. And I'm not, promoting killing animals, but that's, how we did it back in the day. We hunted animals and game meat and so forth. So again, I remain neutral. I remain right in the middle. I choose to move forward. I don't want to have any kind of debate about vegetarianism or veganism. Again, that doesn't make you spiritual. A lot of the time it's this entitled thing, like I'm better than you, okay? So I'm not eating animals. Rather than an actual genuine care of like how that meat is being conditioned and made, right? Someone who's conscious understands these things, and they're not perpetuating more of destruction of the planet through their actions all the time. They're figuring out ways to almost biohack existence, okay? And maybe you feel like that watching this channel right now. My advice to you, dear empath, dear beloved, okay, is to work on your lower 3 chakra points, okay? Because you are an empath, you went up to your head, up to your intuition, to be able to deal with the chaos that was around you. Your nervous system felt unsafe, and so you needed your head to seek solutions. You needed your intuition to seek solutions. You needed a good understanding of body language. and when people's face moved and things like that. That's why you're so good at reading facial expressions and so forth. You have like spidey senses now from the experiences that you went through growing up. But you need to handle your lower 3 chakras, okay? You need to handle your root chakra, you need to handle your sacral chakra, you need to handle your solar plexus chakra. As an empath, you can't just have an eraser and erase the outlines of your personality like this, okay? You're not boundaryless. You're a human being having a physical experience. Yes, we are spiritual beings, but understand you're also a human being, okay? You're not gonna just erase this and you become a floating orb, okay? You have this form right now. You might as well put it to good use. Get an enlightenment body, okay? Get an ascension body. Recreate yourself, recreate your own dynamic. I've understood that health is the baseline to mental health, okay? The physical health is the baseline to mental health. That's the way that your ideas, philosophies are going to manifest, is in the way that you look, in the way that you come across, okay? Your ideas are going to be felt by the way that you act, the vibe that you give off, you know? Do you even uplift, bro? So we need that divine motherhood and fatherhood, that masculine and feminine energy working together to create that family unit again, to create that bonding, that love, that deep appreciation for each other. Like, I have deep reverence and appreciation for all the women in my life, you know, and all the men in my life too. For human society to be genuinely healthy, there needs to be a harmony between the sexes. And this is done through both of our, you know, tribes healing, the sisterhood healing, the brotherhood healing, and then the couple healing. As that comes together, we start creating a beautiful society of change makers, of radical transformation specialists who come into this world and they're flung through all of these initiations and issues and problems, but they come out of the other side shining because now they have golden armor. You see, they're golden, but they're also gold plated. They have the spiritual protection now. They know they've gone down the rabbit hole, okay? They know all of the little traps in the way of the spiritual journey. They really get it. It's all about authenticity, presence, coming into your full greatest form. They get it, right? Maybe you get it too, and you're just about recognizing it. Maybe later on in life, maybe younger in life, okay, don't matter. You're here now, and we are here to ascend and shine and evolve all together at once. We are the Upward Spiral gang. Remember that, upwards spiral. We're constantly spiraling upwards. Every day in every way is getting better and better. J Guru Dev, to all my mentors, let's get it. Upward Spiral gang, may we never be the same again. We're all gonna make it. See you on the other side, Os.